Hey, what's up YouTube? Got a awesome knife unboxing for you guys today. As you can see, this is made by Dave Curtis, Curtis Custom Knives. I believe he's in Michigan, and he does these knives all in-house, all USA made by himself, I believe. I don't think he has any employees. I could be wrong on that. He treats the blades, everything, all done by himself in his shop. This is the F3. The F3 is kind of the one that everybody wants. Medium, and in the Wharncliffe, they have, I think he's coming out this year with some non-flippers and maybe some skinny versions. This is the latest generation. I haven't seen a video on YouTube about any of his new stuff, only stuff on his actual Instagram. As far as I'm concerned, I think I'm kind of one of the only people, not the only, but one of very few people that actually has this knife. I just haven't seen them. I haven't seen them on Facebook. I haven't seen any dealers get them other than the one that I got this at. And I don't even know if they were even supposed to sell it when they sold it to me. Who knows? Pretty standard box, very nice. Lots of Curtis Knives swag. You've got a couple, a patch and a couple stickers. Pretty awesome. You've got some paper and then a case. The cases, I think, used to be multicam, and they had his name, Curtis Knives and stuff on. Kind of wish it still had that. You just get a basic case, but it is a nice case, I will say that. It's not cheap. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It's got some of that kind of nice carpeting. And there is the knife. We can get it out of here. Awesome. This knife is so cool, guys. The Curtis Knives F3 latest generation. You can tell because it's got this milling here on both sides. One side, it's got the Curtis, his last name logo, which looks sick in my opinion. And the other side, it's just got the F3. This is how you know the latest generation is this milling. It would have just been flat with his old logo that kind of looked like this. Awesome, big pivot. His kind of, I think his pivot design is kind of proprietary. It's huge. Centering is super close to perfect. Sometimes it looks, you look at it and it, like from that angle, it looks perfect. From this angle, these, I believe these are ground, custom, obviously they're custom ground by Dave Curtis. So the shop that I got this at had a lot of different versions, and they all had a little bit different grinds, and you can tell that it's custom. Just, I mean, look how it's not perfectly symmetrical. See if I can get my camera to focus. Sorry guys. On the tip there, you can see how it's kind of at an angle. That is not a problem for me at all on a custom knife. Again, you know, made in small batches, you know, they're all going to have a little bit of variation to them. And I appreciate that about a custom knife. That's what makes it different than these, you know, Benchmade or Spyderco, where they're all kind of exactly the same. So this one has great centering, great lockup. Love the titanium. The steel, as you can see, is CTS-XHP. Super, super smooth action. Definitely a free dropping knife. Once it gets worn in, it'll become even more free over time. Nice flipper tab, super comfortable. It's got a decent amount of jimping, but very, very kind of smooth, but still grippy. You can either push button or light switch this one, which is awesome. And it just flies out either way. And then you can also, now that you've got this milled part, which he didn't have in his last knives, which made them just flipper only, you can either Spyderco flip it out, you can kind of smooth roll it out, you can hit it out with your thumb. Any way you want to open this knife, you can do it. And like I said, I think he's done that, so now that he can sell his knives without a flipper anymore, which is an awesome idea, and it just looks great. I love that recess in there. Doesn't that just look awesome? And of course, the font that he uses for his last name is just super classy, and just adds to the overall custom look. Pocket clip is very Hinderer-like, which I like. It has great retention. It's pretty solid, but it does have some give to it. Very springy. Not very deep carry. That bolt pattern, I think you could put a ton of different clips on there, anything you can think of. I bet ZT even maybe fits that. So definitely, if you want a deep carry, I think you could do that. And I'm sure there's probably some aftermarket. MXG might make some, But man, just a great looking knife. Isn't it? I love the backspacer, that kind of milled backspacer, and it does give you a lot of purchase, as does the actual blade jimping. Look how deep that is. But it's not, it's bitey, but it's not like, it doesn't hurt your skin at all. It's not uncomfortable. And it goes right into the top of the frame there, which just looks good. I chose, they had a Spanto, kind of like Hinder Spanto, which is kind of like a, I don't know even how to describe it. Kind of a Tanto, but more of a drop point, kind of user-friendly look to it. They had a drop point version, and then they had this. I kind of was thinking I was going to get the drop point, but then just the way he does his Wharncliffe is such a good look. It's so unique. It's extremely, extremely usable for EDC and opening things, even, I mean, food prep, everything. It's just a great, great looking Wharncliffe. I love the shape. You've got lots of belly on it, I think is one of the things I like. Nice pointy, but very strong tip, very reinforced. A hollow grind, not too skinny behind the edge, but skinny enough. I stropped this because as it did come, the only complaint I had is it actually had a little bit of a burr. I think when he was sharpening these, probably does them all in a batch, in a day or something like that, and just goes through knife by knife and sharpens them. It's almost like he maybe forgot, this is just my opinion, maybe forgot to take that burr off at the very last minute and boxed it up. Because you could feel, it kind of feels like a wire when you run your finger through. And you guys know that no sharpening, you push the burr, oops, sorry, I put my camera. Push the burr over to one side, you knock that burr down, it pushes to the other side, and then eventually you alternate back and forth to where there's no burr anymore and you've just got your razor thin edge. I can't remember which side it was, but you could run your finger and you could feel that burr. So I just put it on a leather strap with some green compound and knocked that burr down, and it's pretty sharp now. Not the sharpest out of the box, but it's a big burly knife. It cuts things open perfectly fine. I did use it to open some packages and stuff, and it worked great. So decent size. You can tell it's not huge. When they say medium, it definitely, I would say, is medium. Not small, not large, but medium fits this knife very, very well. That detent almost feels like a Hoback roller detent. I kind of think, I'm sorry, I didn't research that. I do think it does roll, maybe, because it has that Hoback roller detent feel, where you can kind of feel that ball just kind of rolling in the cage. If not, it's a very, very smooth ceramic ball, but it really does feel like a rolling detent. And I don't know how the patent, I think Hoback, they call it the Hoback roller detent or whatever. I don't know if you have to get permission to use that. I don't know how that works, but that's what it feels like anyways, guys. CTS-XHP, which it seems to be that's what he uses the most in his knives. But man, isn't this a cool looking knife? You've got a finger choil that you can choke up on, and then you can utilize some of that jimping to do work. Super, very, very comfortable in the hand in a reverse grip. Your standard grip, really comfortable, get all 4 fingers on it. It's just an awesome knife, guys. These are very I say very, it's all relative, right? There's a little pricier than like a standard Hinder or standard Chris Reeve, which is kind of in this class. When these first came out, Curtis Knives is kind of an OG of the knife making industry. He started way back when. Chris Reeve, Strider, Hinder, he's also kind of in that world. It's been around for a long time. People call this kind of a Hinder-esque type knife. I think it's extremely different than any Hinder. I think it's its own thing. I think what Curtis is doing is his own style, and I think he's doing a great job. But yeah, very, very comfortable, very usable knife, smooth. And I just like that I don't know, something about a custom knife. I was talking about how much they cost. This one I think is $650. I paid for it. Again, they're made in a lot smaller batches than Chris Reeve and Hinder and stuff. And you can go on Dave Curtis's Instagram. I think it's called Curtis Custom Knives on Instagram. And you can see him heat treating and going through the process of, doing the scales and the hardware and all that type of stuff. You're paying a little bit more for that. Obviously, the guy's got to make a living, and making knives isn't cheap, and especially when you don't make a ton. So I think it's priced just right. I would gladly pay this much for this knife. The other thing is if you're comparing it to a Hinder XM, a Hinder XM comes with a G10 scale, right? And then a titanium on the non-show side. And then you've got, a titanium scale on the inside of that G10. Well, to make your Hinder look like this, what is a Hinder? I think 450, an XM18 3.5. This has 2 titanium scales. And to buy a titanium scale from Hinder to make it a full titanium like this is, that puts you at $650. So I think for what you're getting, this is priced perfect. And look out for those new generations. I can't remember what gen it is, like if it's gen 4 or 5 or 6, I don't remember, but I know this is his latest one. If you go to Instagram, this is what he's working on. This is what he's been working on. And I'm really impressed, guys. I really love his knife. I think it's awesome. And I actually plan to buy more, so stay tuned for that. If you see some more of his stuff, maybe that F3 drop point needs to join the family as well. So I know this is a long video, guys, but it's a really cool maker, and I was excited to show you guys this one. And let me know your thoughts on it, if you guys enjoy it as much as I do, or if you plan to pick one up. Thanks for watching, guys. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you're not. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Talk to you later.